In the heart of West Africa, where the sun scorched the earth and the sky stretched wide like an endless canvas, stood an ancient baobab tree. Its gnarled branches twisted like the fingers of forgotten gods, its massive trunk scarred with age and secrets. The villagers of Kofina revered it, whispering tales of spirits and curses beneath its vast canopy. But no one dared to come close after dusk, not since the disappearances began. Amina, a young anthropologist from Accra, had heard those whispers on the wind long before she ever set foot in Kofina. She had arrived with a notebook, a camera, and a restless curiosity burning in her chest. Stories of the baobab had fascinated her, legends passed down by griots, the village's storytellers, speaking of a voice in the night, calling to the lost, weaving through the dry leaves like a sinister lullaby. Tonight was the night she chose to uncover the truth. The village elders had warned her. Stay away from the baobab after sunset, they said, their eyes clouded with fear. It does not sleep, and it does not forget. Amina ignored their warnings. She had come for answers, not superstition. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sky bled hues of orange and purple, shadows lengthening over the cracked earth. Amina crept through the village, her heart pounding in rhythm with the distant drumbeats echoing from the ceremonial grounds. The air was thick with smoke from cooking fires and the heavy scent of earth and rain. She reached the baobab just as the last light disappeared, the tree looming like a sleeping giant. The villagers' huts were dark now, their windows shuttered tightly. Silence fell like a shroud, except for a faint whispering that seemed to emanate from the tree itself. Amina's breath caught. She moved closer, her hand trembling as she reached out to touch the rough bark. The whispers grew louder, soft, sibilant voices weaving through the wind. Words she couldn't understand, but their tone was chilling. They seemed alive. Suddenly, the ground beneath her feet shifted, and a cold wind whipped around her. She stumbled back, eyes wide. From the shadows emerged a figure, an old man draped in faded robes, his face carved with deep lines, eyes gleaming with a strange intensity. "You should not be here," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "I'm here to learn," Amina replied, trying to steady her voice. "To understand the baobab's whispers." The old man's gaze pierced her like a spear. "The baobab holds more than stories. It holds memories, pain, loss, vengeance. Disappearances," Amina said softly. "People say those who hear the whispers are taken." The old man nodded slowly. "The baobab chooses. It is a guardian and a prisoner of its own curse." Amina's curiosity burned brighter than her fear. "Tell me what happened." The old man sighed deeply and gestured for her to sit on a nearby root. "Long ago, this land was ruled by a powerful chief. His greed knew no bounds, and his cruelty brought suffering to his people. One night, the villagers called upon the spirits of the baobab, pleading for justice." He paused, eyes darkening. The spirits answered. The chief was cursed, bound to the baobab's trunk forever. But the curse came with a price. The baobab spirit became restless, hungry for the souls of those who dared to disrespect the land. Amina shivered, the story sinking deep into her bones. "Those who hear the whispers are drawn in, their spirits trapped within the tree, feeding its power," the old man warned. "The baobab remembers everything." A sudden rustle in the bushes snapped Amina's attention away from the old man. She peered into the darkness and saw a faint glow, eyes reflecting the firelight, watching. "Go," the old man urged, rising. "Before it calls you too." Amina's heart raced. She wanted to leave, but something held her back. The whispers had changed, they were clearer now, urgent, pleading. Amina leaned closer to the tree, pressing her ear against the bark. A voice, soft and desperate, whispered, "Help me, find me." Her breath hitched. The voice was unmistakably human, and filled with terror. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The baobab's bark seemed to shift, revealing a narrow hollow at its base, dark and inviting. The whispers grew louder, almost frantic. Amina's instinct screamed at her to run, but she couldn't move. She stepped forward, peering into the darkness inside the tree. Her lamplight flickered, barely illuminating a narrow tunnel that seemed to descend deep underground. The old man's voice echoed behind her. Once inside, the baobab's whispers become chains. But Amina's determination was ironclad. If someone is trapped, I have to try. She took a deep breath and stepped into the hollow. The tunnel was damp and claustrophobic, the walls pulsing with an eerie, rhythmic thrum like a heartbeat. The whispers followed her, a haunting chorus of voices tangled with sobs and cries. Shadows flickered at the edges of her vision, playing tricks on her mind. As she ventured deeper, the air grew colder. Her lamplight flickered again and went out, plunging her into blackness. Her pulse thundered in her ears. "Who's there?" he called, voice trembling. A faint reply came from the depths. "Help me, please." Amina fumbled for her matches, striking one. The small flame illuminated a figure huddled against the wall, thin, ragged, eyes wide with fear. "Are you okay?" she whispered, reaching out. The figure nodded weakly, a young man, no older than 20. "I'm Idris. I was taken 3 nights ago. How do we get out?" He shook his head. "The baobab won't let us leave. It feeds on our fear. We must face it." Before Amina could respond, a low growl filled the tunnel, the walls seeming to close in. The whispers turned into screams, voices accusing, warning, demanding. Amina gripped Idris's hand tightly. "We'll find a way. Together." They moved forward, hearts pounding, until they reached a cavern beneath the roots, a vast chamber filled with shimmering shadows and the pulsating core of the baobab spirit. In the center floated a glowing orb, swirling with faces, lost souls trapped by the curse. The baobab's voice thundered around them, shaking the earth. "Why do you disturb my rest? Leave or join them." Amina stepped forward, voice steady despite the fear. "We are not here to take, but to free. Your curse is pain, but also a plea for justice." The orb paused, faces twisting in anguish. "We will break the curse," she vowed. "But you must let go." For a tense moment, silence fell. Then the orb expanded, enveloping them in blinding light. When Amina opened her eyes, she and Idris stood outside the baobab, dawn breaking over the village. The tree seemed less menacing now, its bark smooth and serene. The whispers were gone. The villagers emerged cautiously, eyes wide with disbelief as Idris ran to his family, tears streaming. Amina turned to the old man, who nodded approvingly. "The baobab has forgiven," he said softly. "And so must we." As the sun rose over Kofina, the ancient tree stood tall and silent, a guardian no longer of fear, but of hope.